early in the morning, if we wish good morning to Baba and churn the jewels of knowledge, then I would stay happy for the whole day. So, do you do that? So, it is said in the world that morning shows the day. So, if you cannot lay the foundation for a morning, then the whole day, we want our day to be full of peace and happiness. But the method to that is remembering Baba with love in the morning. And the first thing we should do is wake up in the morning and remember Baba. The first one to come in our awareness has to be Baba. And the morning has to start with Good Morning Baba. And today Baba has given us a very important learning that, even if we have not done that until now, start now. Past is past. Yes, so past is past, and Baba says start now. If today I have received the understanding and the enlightenment that yes, I have to get up every morning and wish Baba good morning and churn the points of knowledge, and today it has entered my buddhi, then past is past, let me begin today. So Baba says this is something that I have to do if I want happiness, because without the foundation of powerful Amrit Vela remembrance, happiness is not possible. So this is something that Baba is pointing out. And there are souls in the world who would say we have been BKs for very long, but we don't experience what Baba says in the Murli, that kind of happiness or that kind of Sangam Yogi fortune we don't experience. And you ask them, what have you done as a BK? So you've been a BK, so been a BK in the terms that you've just read the Murli or attended the class. But have you done what Baba says? And they say, no, we are not able to get up, or purity is difficult. So if the method is not adopted, then how can the result come? So this is something that we have to ask just by listening to the Murli. Of course, Gyan is the foundation, knowledge is important. But knowledge is important, why? Because it guides you about what to do. Yes, so first thing is knowing what to do, then doing as you know. Both are important. One is, you don't know what to do, then you're just doing something arbitrarily, then that will not give the result. So in Bhakti we did that. And today Baba is appreciating the Bhagats also. And he says Bhagats are also getting up early in the morning. But the thing is, they are getting up early in the morning, but they don't know what to do. Yes, but we know what to do, but are we doing as we know? That's the question. And there was this one sister, and she once told me something very nice. She told me, Didi, there are many people in the world who get up early in the morning, but it is so unfortunate they don't know that this is such an auspicious time, and if they could know the method how to consider themselves a soul and remember Baba, then they would get so much benefit of that time, but they don't know. and somebody is wasting their time in bhakti, somebody is wasting their time reading the newspaper, somebody is just going for a walk, but they could do, they could earn this income of 21 births in the early morning hours, but they don't know. And I told her, that is unfortunate. But what is more unfortunate is those who know don't do it. So this is something that we have to understand, that we are the only souls who know how to practice Raj Yoga. We know how to consider ourselves a soul and remember Baba. And Baba says, do as you know, because you are knowing from the ocean of knowledge. And that is not a small fortune. So we know what others don't know. So let's use our morning hours to create a fortune. So this is the first thing that Baba tells us. And then Baba tells us 3 things about remembrance today. He says, remember Baba with patience, maturity, and understanding. So we have to remember Baba with patience, maturity, and understanding. Now you see that remembering Baba, remembering Baba is a very powerful method. But why don't we realize, why don't we get the full benefit of this powerful method? Because there is lack of patience, maturity, and understanding. So before we understand what is patience, maturity, and understanding, let me tell you the source of patience, maturity, and understanding, that is the Murli. So, the Murli, Baba's Murli, the more we imbibe Baba's Murli, the more we will have patience, maturity, and understanding. Yes, so just like, a person has maturity through experience. Yes, so the more experienced you become, so you have maturity in the world. Here also, the more you become experienced in knowledge, so maturity is an aspect which comes when we imbibe the Murli gradually. And then, you are not reactive to everything, and especially when this point that the drama is benevolent, the drama is kalyankari. When this sits in our buddhi, then we have maturity. And we are not disturbed or upset by circumstances and events that happen around us. So this maturity is very important for remembrance. The maturity that comes from realizing that I am a stable, peaceful soul. The maturity that comes from knowing that Baba is my Father, Baba is my eternal, Baba is the one who I have eternal relationship with. So these points of knowledge, when they sit in our buddhi, then we have maturity. And that maturity is reflected in our remembrance. So when that knowledge is imbibed properly in the buddhi, then we have this maturity where we can sit in constant remembrance of Baba. And then there is patience. Patience also comes when we imbibe the Swadershan Chakra. So, the more you become Swadershan Chakradhari, the more patience you have. when you start churning, that second by second you shifted from a deity to a human, and second by second you're moving from a human to a deity, to change from again a deity to a human in the next cycle. So when you keep churning this, you have patience. And um, I think, when in all these years, as I have paid attention to the Murli and churned the Murli, I have this deep realization inside that, this drama, or this whole game, this whole play is eternal. And 1 second is very important, and 1 second doesn't matter. So both are there. So, every second is important because you have to pay attention. But then, if something doesn't take place your way, no problem, because it's just 1 second. The next second that can change. So, this kind of a patience you will have, where you are not shaken up by things, and you have maturity to look beyond the surface of things. And then Baba says the understanding about yourself, about who Baba is, about your relationship with Baba, your attainments from Baba, how Baba is creating our fortune, or what are the benefits of remembrance. So, when this understanding sits deep in your heart, then also your remembrance is improved, or your remembrance has a lot of, power in it. And this maturity, patience, and understanding, this cannot be developed just by, thinking about, I want to be mature, I want to be patient. No. This is a byproduct of this sustained relationship with Baba through the Murli. And over the years, as this improves, as patience comes in, and I've seen that, on this path with Baba, Baba gives you a lot of patience, and you become very patient, and then you don't. There was this one brother, and I was sitting in front of him, and then he received a phone call, and it was about some loss that had happened, and according to the Lokik standards, it's a big loss. And then this brother, his expression didn't change. He was just smiling and listening to that news, and then he told me that news with that same smiling face. I'm telling you this around 8 years back, and he shared that news with the same smiling face to me. And then he said, so now I have to leave, I have to take care of that thing. And he left with that kind of, happy attitude, and he went and did what could be done. So this is patience, and that patience comes from this deep realization that the drama is eternal, you are a soul, scenes change second by second, and anyways we are going to the golden age. So until then we have to manage everything, but there is no reason to react. Yes. And then maturity also helps you look at the larger picture, despite what you're seeing here. And the thing is, when you have patience and maturity, then remembrance is sustained. So when you don't have patience and maturity, then every time something happens, your link of remembrance is broken. And then you start having buddhi yoga with the situation or something that happened, and then your remembrance changes into prayers. So, instead of remembering Baba, you start praying to Baba, Baba, solve this, take care of this. But Baba says, for that not to happen, for your remembrance to be sustained, you have to have patience and maturity, which comes from being knowledgeful. And knowing knowledge is another thing, being knowledgeful is another thing. And then understanding. So the more you understand everything, the more you understand yourself, understand Baba, understand that Baba is your only companion, the more you understand the attainments from Baba, the more you understand your aim. So the more this understanding seeps deep inside, then you have accurate remembrance. Because, when you are remembering Baba, we have remembered Baba inaccurately for very long. So 2500 years in Bhakti, we have had inaccurate remembrance. So we have remembered Baba as we thought he is. And this is why now when it's time for accurate remembrance, deep understanding of who he really is very important. And deep understanding of why you're remembering him is also very important. Because we have always remembered Baba so that Baba can come and change the situation. But Baba is here to give us mukti, Jivan Mukti. Baba has not come to take care of our Kali-yugi matters. So the more that understanding seeps in, then the remembrance is accurate. Okay, and Baba says when there is accurate remembrance, then we receive more current from Baba. So the current that we receive, so when the wire is properly connected, then the current passes well. So when this connection is proper, then the current we receive from Baba. And what is the current? The current of peace, purity, love, power, everything we start receiving. And this accurate remembrance changes the soul. So it changes everything in the soul. And then Baba says, apart from the current also, your burden of sins will decrease and we will continue to become Sato Pradhan. Our lifespan will increase because of accurate remembrance. It is not an accident that all dadis lived very long. So, its lifespan here also it increases so that we can make sustained long effort, and also in Satyug it will be very long lifespan. And then Baba says you also receive a searchlight from the Father. And this searchlight is a very interesting term. So I checked on Google, and what a searchlight is there is a powerful source of light, and it is reflected in many, in many beams and streams when passed through a reflector. So that's a searchlight. So Baba says, you will also become a searchlight. So, streams and beams of my purity, my peace, my love will pass through you and reach the whole world. So this kind of a searchlight we will become. We will receive the power of a searchlight from the Father. So this is about accurate remembrance today. And then Baba today talks about many things, and especially about this understanding that, Baba is giving us. So if I remember Baba, then all my sins are getting absolved, and I am earning the fortune of being the King of Kings in heaven. So Baba says, do you remember Baba with that kind of understanding? Do you remember Baba by remembering who he really is? Or do you think that Baba is just a small time problem solver who will take care of little stuff being around? So, people call out God when they don't get a seat in the bus, or people call out to God when they don't get a parking space. So, do you think that, you have to remember God for this stuff? Or do you really understand what power of yoga can do? And do you remember Baba for that, for burning your sins and relieving you of this Kali Yuga and taking you to Satyug? So Baba says, do you remember Baba with that kind of understanding? And today Baba talks about some other things also which I want to point out, which is Baba today says that you have to send your bag and baggage first, and then you, the soul, will go. Yes, so your bag and baggage will move first to Satyug, and then we will follow our bag and baggage. So, how do you send your bag and baggage to Satyug? So, whatever you have, your energy, time, thought, money, resources, skills, everything, as much as you use them in seva, okay, they are getting invested and becoming part of your Satyugi fortune. Yes, so, and as much as you're holding on to them and not using them in seva, then they are becoming something that will perish in the end and be left behind. So, are you transferring? How do you transfer your bag and baggage? So, the method to transfer your bag and baggage is to invest your body, mind, and wealth in seva. And Baba says, your bag and baggage will go first, and they will create your, your fortune in Satyug, and then you will follow. So, as much as you have invested in seva, that kind of palace will be ready for you, and then you, the soul, will go and sit in your palace. So, are you creating that palace for yourself? Are you creating that position for yourself now? Because that will not happen tomorrow, that will happen today. So, as much as we are investing our resources in seva, that much of our Satyugi fortune is being gradually created. So, we have to ask ourselves whether we have transferred everything. Yes, and this is a transfer. So, you invest in seva, you get the return there. So, then with this calculation, you can, even today, you can know what kind of a, what kind of a king or queen or a servant or whatever you're going to become in Satyug. So if you just understand this calculation, because Baba says your bag and baggage is being moved right now, and as much as you are transferring, that much of Satyugi fortune is being created. And if you're just using everything, running after Kaliyugi desires, which will not get you anything. Yes, I will tell you one thing. There is a brother, and he came to Bharat, and I told him, let's go to Madhuban. He's in Gyan. And he said, Didi, let me take care of my business first. I've come on a business trip. And by the way, he's the owner, so there is no foundation on him to work here. So it's just his own greed, that's pushing him. So he said, let me just finish my business and then I'll see and go to Baba Milan. And then, he's kept doing that, and that thing got postponed and postponed, and then it was time for him to return. And the last day he told me, Didi, I missed my chance to go to Madhuban, and I also missed the business deal, and now I'm going empty handed. So I said, that is all right, but what did you learn from this? So that's okay. That happened this time. You did not have the maturity. That's okay. But what did you learn? So, this same dejected, this same feeling of, sorrow that you're experiencing now can also become a feeling in the end if you don't learn from this incident. Yes, so this Kali Yuga, I think this Kali Yuga is a big suction pump, it just drains you of all your energy and thoughts and resources and everything. So you have to kind of safeguard yourself from getting pulled into it, and with the understanding and realization that I have to create my Satyugi fortune. Invest your time, thought, energy, money in remembrance and seva. If you don't do that, then in the end Baba will say, where is your baggage? No baggage, then where will you go? So you've not sent anything, then there is nothing prepared for you, then how will you go there? And even if you go, it will be very little fortune waiting for you. So this is something that Baba says. And then today Baba says that, when you share knowledge with somebody and when you are in a peaceful state and you are sharing knowledge peacefully, then that soul will also experience the peace if it's a Satyugi soul. Yes, and when it's a Satyugi soul, you will know that soul, you will recognize that soul. Because every soul, when a soul is a Satyugi soul, they will feel that peace and that affinity with Baba. So even if they don't understand Gyan, it's okay. But they will love Baba's home, they will like the environment of Baba's home. And I remember, there was this one brother who was very intelligent. And it looked like he understood Gyan. But one day he told me that I don't like the music in Baba's home. I don't like the songs, the music is very badly done. He told me that. And I don't know, there was this one, that in that 1 second, I knew this is not a Satyugi soul. I just knew it. And although, it's okay, he continued coming. And after 2 or 3 days, he didn't come. And then he never came back. It's been many years. Why? Because, that affinity. So sometimes, because people are intelligent in the world, or they will like some thought process, something or the other, they will just come and nod, and you will feel like, this person who is very intelligent is understanding Gyan. But the sign of a Satyugi soul is they will feel the peace. They will feel Baba's presence. They will feel comfort in Baba's home. They will be attracted to Baba's songs, Baba's music. They will feel the comfort of the ambience. When you sit in peace, they will feel the peace that's coming from Baba to them. So Baba says these are signs of a Satyugi soul. And when it is such a soul, then make effort to, give them, fill their apron with Baba's knowledge. And in today's Murli, Baba is also talking about, when we share knowledge with anybody, then Baba says, first of all, keep reminding them that you consider yourself to be a soul and remember Baba. Because, most of the times what happens is we pay a lot of attention to teaching the soul what to do, what not to do, or, how to de-stress or manage anger or this or that. But do you think that they can do any of that stuff without the power of yoga? They cannot do it. And many a times we forget to tell them what they need to do first, which is consider yourself a soul and remember Baba. And we keep telling them the other stuff, but that other stuff will only impress them, it will not help them. So Baba says, but why do you forget to tell them to consider themselves to be a soul and remember Baba? Because you yourself don't do that. Yes, so if you don't remember Baba, then you will not underline the importance of remembrance. And if you don't underline the importance of remembrance, then the takeaway that soul is taking will not be very helpful. So they will remember what needs to be done, but they will not have the power. But if they have the power, so if they took away this one thing that you have to sit in the morning and consider yourself a soul and remember Baba, then Baba will open the locks of their buddhi and they will gradually understand everything. So Baba says, this is something that you have to first say. And then if you yourself are not doing it, then even if you say it, it won't make a difference. So they will also listen to it and not do it. So this is why Baba says, you have to pay a lot of attention to the subject of remembrance. And then today Baba, just like, Baba gives this example of the searchlight, and Baba makes many comparisons today. Baba uses the example of a garden today, and Baba says that just like in a garden, the farmer plucks the flowers and keeps them in a separate pot. So here also I have kept you in a separate Sangam Yugi pot. And then tomorrow you will go to your own garden where there will be only flowers, no thorns. So, now I'm separating you, and then you will go to a garden where there will be no thorns. And then Baba says, now you have to become such a flower that with your fragrance you can turn others into flowers. Okay, so and such a flower, so what is a flower? A flower is, so why does Baba compare us to a flower? So a flower has the fragrance of a fragrance, and a soul has the fragrance of purity. So Baba says, as you change into Sangam Yugi flowers, you have that fragrance of purity which can change others. And with that fragrance of purity, if you change many others, then you will become, the master of the garden in Satyug. And then Baba today uses the example of a magnet also. And Baba says, just like a magnet, when it is rusted, it doesn't get pulled to the iron. Yes? So this is just like an iron piece. Sorry, the iron is rusted, so it doesn't get pulled to the magnet. So Baba says, similarly, I am the magnet and you are the iron. And the more your rust is removed, the more you will be in my remembrance. But how do you remove the rust? So the removing of rust will also take place through remembrance. So Baba says, the more you remember me, the more you will be rust free, and the more you will be pulled by the magnet, by Baba. And then Baba today says that you are engaged to Baba. Are you engaged to Baba? Yes? Are you wearing Baba's? So what happens in an engagement? So you wear a ring, yes, on your finger. But Baba says, is there a ring on your buddhi? So in your buddhi, you have to know that you are engaged to one Baba and none other. So Baba says, in your buddhi, if you have this awareness always, then it will be very easy to stay in constant remembrance. And in earlier times, people used to describe that we got engaged to so and so person and we had not even seen their photograph. But ever since that day, this heart has belonged to that person. Yes. So Baba says, you also remember that now you are engaged to Baba, and whenever you have this awareness that you are engaged to Baba, that then one you are engaged to is very easy to remember. So Baba says, use this yukti also to remember Baba. Okay.